Today, I'm going to introduce you to somebody who's made a pretty big difference in my family's life. He is an instructor at Wachusett Mountain. He's also in charge of the adaptive skiing program.
She's a friend who'll show up with coffee or wine when you need it most. But probably wine. Good vibes are on the way. Welcome to Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency.
Welcome back to Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency. I'm Erin. It is so great to have you here. Now, this is something that I never knew even existed, and maybe you don't know that it exists either. You don't have somebody in your life that would like to ski or snowboard who otherwise wouldn't be able to without an adaptive program. It is getting more and more common. It's a beautiful thing. It's so funny to watch people see my son skiing. He sits down on this ski and it kind of looks like a sled. It's got skis at the bottom of it. And Bruce is behind it guiding Gabe down the mountain. It's just so fun to watch how excited my kiddo gets. And there are so many times that we are skiing next to him and we see how other people react when they see him because it's the neatest thing to see. If you've never seen it before, it mesmerizes you. I've watched people watch my son come down the mountain and almost wreck themselves because they're not even paying attention to what they're doing because they're like, that is the coolest thing. Oh my gosh, what is that? If you don't know anything about it, I hope you stick around and learn because it's really, really cool how so many places are finding ways to include everybody. I'm here with Bruce Gasco, who's actually become a friend of mine, and I am so happy to welcome you. Hello.
Hello.
So I met you several years back, and by several, I mean like maybe 6 or 7,
I think
when
so.
I first brought my kiddo to Wachusett Mountain in Massachusetts to do adaptive skiing, which I had never heard of before. And I try to explain it like it's a sit ski. So is in what almost looks like it could be a sit up sled, and at the bottom of it is skis, and you are behind him maneuvering that entire piece down the mountain. How did you get involved in this? Because it's such a different thing that is so wonderful because it makes the mountain inclusive, and I love that. So where did you start? How did you start doing this?
Well, I came to be an instructor here at the mountain, and I came in and they found out they had an adaptive program, kind of like what you did. I didn't know that adaptive really existed at the time. So I came in and they had a program, and I met the director of the program and said, "Hey, I think I want to do this." So I came in and they taught us, and it's a great program. It really is an amazing program. The guy who was doing it at the time when you joined, Dave, he had been 15 years directing the program, and it is a great program.
And are you the director now?
I am, yes. I took over 4 years ago. Dave retired, so we took over, and I have a counterpart, Andy, who works with me, and we have a great program.
How long have you been skiing? Because you have to be an amazing skier to be in charge of not just you, but somebody else.
So actually, I started kind of late in life for most people. I started about 19 years old. My wife, girlfriend at the time, was involved in skiing, and we started doing it. Became a fun pastime, and it was a great thing to do. And I came over to the mountain. I was doing a lot of skiing. I was actually teaching my kids how to ski here at the mountain. And one of the instructors saw me and said, "Hey, you do a pretty good job. Maybe you should come get a job." So I did.
Ever since I started this podcast at the end of last ski season, I really wanted you to come on and talk about the adaptive program. And so I'm really honored that you finally have the time and are able to be on with me because I think what you do is so important. How many instructors are there in the adaptive program right now at Wachusett?
So we have approximately 40 instructors in my program,
Wow.
and with all different variable skills and certifications and trainings to handle the different various forms of disciplines of adaptive skiing. So everyone has their abilities, and it's a real great diverse program.
And you do snowboarding too, if somebody wants to learn how to snowboard.
Exactly. That's why
That's so
it
cool.
used to be adaptive skiing, adaptive snow sports. We have, say, probably maybe 5 or 6% of our group that snowboard. It's a great tool for getting people out there that just don't have the ability to get on 2 skis, and it's a real great program, so
And I know that Gabe, he does the sit ski, but you also have like a stand up ski that people are helped down the mountain with. What is that and how does that work?
well, essentially, that's called either 3-track or 4-track, and so a standard skier who stands up is a 2-track. You're making 2 tracks in the snow and with your 2 skis, and then for people that need stability or other sort of control additions or adaptations, we have an outrigger that kind of looks like a crutch, and it grabs onto your forearm, but it has skis on the bottom. So it allows them to glide down the mountain, making the 4 tracks, and they can adapt and meet them where they are. That's a variation of people maybe have ALS, MS, anybody, maybe stability or balance control issues, or up to including single amputees, double amputees. Several of my students are still 4-track, but they're working with 2 double amputees with prosthetics connected to boots on skis. So they're still, skiing down the mountain with 4 contacts with the ground. So
That is so fascinating. And I know that you work with blind skiers as well, which that to me is incredible that you are able to help navigate a blind skier down a steep mountain. What is that like?
it's amazing. It's just the trust that they put in us to be able to guide them down the mountain. So visually impaired lessons, you have all variations of visual impairment. Up to including, completely blind. And so we had just started a new student not too long ago. Probably I've had 4 lessons with her, and it's amazing. The trust that they have in us, it warms my heart every day because you go out there and they have to put 100% faith in us to say, okay, we're skiing a little to the left, turn to the left, turn to the left. And we're guiding them through the sometimes chaotic slope with a lot of people skiing around them. So it always amazes me. We do it and we train for it, and we will actually close our eyes and have another instructor guide us. It's not easy to put that trust and the trust that they put in us. It's great.
I absolutely adore that, especially because, the first lesson, they're just meeting you. And so they have to really place their entire physical well being in the trust of a virtual stranger. And they do it. And then I've seen this happen where they
Very.
get more and more confident and excited. And every week is just a new adventure. And I think it's really great that the adaptive program isn't just for one specific area of challenge that a child or an adult would have. You cover the whole gamut, and that is so inclusive. I love that skiing and snowboarding, you've all found a way to make it inclusive. And those people that would never need something like this wouldn't know that it exists, but it does, and it's getting more and more popular. And I love everything about it. And you and I were talking not long ago about how the people that run Wachusett Mountain specifically, it's a family, and they do as much as they can to make this program successful. And you were telling me a little bit about the differences between if you were to go get a private lesson, just a regular private lesson, versus an adaptive private lesson. Can you just give me an example about that and how the Crowleys have made a difference?
Oh, it is amazing. So they really reach out and help us to provide, this service and allowing us to do this in many ways. But the price of the lesson, if you had a standard private one-on-one private lesson, let's say $170 to go out and do that for 1 hour with an alpine instructor. In our program, again, they subsidize that. They make it a lot more affordable and accessible for our students. I mean, less than half of that, or a lot less than half of that, actually. I mean, they're a really good rate to come in and get us there, and it is a godsend. The abilities for them to do this, and especially for the area, Central Massachusetts. We have a lot of people that use us as their home mountain. They're
Yeah.
they're coming here. A lot of your other destination mountains, they're going to vacation there. With our mountain, with the close proximity to all the colleges, and we do an exorbitant amount of lessons here, probably ranked high, and I'm not sure the exact numbers, but I know we're sometimes ranked number 1 or 2 in the country for the amount of lessons that go out of this facility. We're really geared and oriented towards a training home mountain.
I love too that not only is a lesson, an adaptive lesson, less than half of an alpine lesson, but it's also longer. Instead of the hour alpine, you do an hour and a half with these kiddos. You get a chance to know the kids or the adults that you're working with. And I'm sure they never feel rushed. That's a long time to be on the mountain. That's really, really special.
It is. It really is. And you get that time to we take our time with all of our students and just getting it set up and whatever adaptation we're using in that specific lesson. There's a little extra care in our program. We spend time, getting our kiddos or our students buckled up, booted up properly. Everything's all set. So there's a little extra care involved in what we do.
Right.
And it just allows us to develop that rapport, that relationship with our students that's needed. And like you say, with Gabe and others, that we see them every week for a period of time. They're a family at that point.
Mhm.
So it's a great experience and a great thing that we have the ability to take that time and get them to come back out to the mountain and introducing them to the snow sports with some families. If you're a ski family and you've been out skiing as a group, and then you have a child that you think you're not going to be able to continue that, and to have the ability to bring that joy and ability to get them skiing is. And we experience it right now. Students and a lot of our families come out with us and ski with us, as you know,
Mhm.
and coming out on the mountain, that ability to be with them and ski with them and have that experience, we get just as much reward in what we do from the family and friends and others who come along as we do from the students.
I can't say enough good things about Wachusett and the program, and it's very cool personally for me because my husband and I, when we first started dating, it was in the winter, and a lot of our first dates were at Wachusett. You have night skiing and everything else, and so when we had our kiddo Gabe, and he's pretty severely special needs, I remember thinking, "Oh my gosh, what a bummer that we can't take him skiing. We can't go skiing with him." And then when we found out about, of all places, Wachusett, the place that we used to go on dates all the time, you had this incredible adaptive program. I brought him by myself the first time and I was so excited. And then to see how much he loves it. So, like you said, when the families get to do it with that kiddo, it's so beyond your wildest dream for your child because you don't know that it's even available or possible. And then to see how excited he gets to go down the same slopes that we really fell in love on is just the neatest full circle for me
It is.
and for my husband as well. And I should also mention that Jody, my husband, is not only an instructor like you at Wachusett, but also an adaptive instructor. So I love the fact that he wants to keep giving like that as well. He wants to give back because your program has been so life changing for us that he wants to help other kiddos feel the same way and other families. So you really do have something very special there. And speaking of special, I didn't even realize this until you brought it up with me the other day. You do a lot of work with veterans. I
We
love
do.
that.
We also have a partnership with the Spalding Rehab, which I host a program here every week on Thursdays that allows veterans one day of every month. It's just a Veterans Day, and they have veterans, disabled veterans that go through their rehab center that come here with us, and we ski with them. And then the other ones are just they need a place to get out and you work. And so they come out with us and we partner with them. We're doing it for several years. They come out and bring their patients out and their students, and we have fun.
And for those that are listening that aren't in the Boston area, Spalding Rehab is a very famous place here. It's just outside of Boston. It's in Charlestown, I believe. It's actually where the majority of the Boston bombing victims were treated after they got released from whatever hospitals they were in, and it helped them, many of them learn to walk again and that kind of thing. So, what a great program that is, too.
Their staff is well trained and they do there's similar certifications to what we have, and they bring a lot of equipment, a lot of enthusiasm with them, and it's a great experience to share that with them, and that care, for the athletes. So it is great.
One of the things that you've told me from the very beginning about the program at Wachusett was that you would love to have some sort of a nonprofit. You were thinking like, how can I start my own nonprofit to help with the costs? Because again, right now the Crowley family takes care of everything, but you were trying to think of how you can do some sort of nonprofit to offset some of the costs because as people could imagine, these pieces of equipment, they're not your average skis. They're way more expensive, and the safety of them is impeccable. They're tested over and over again to make sure that any child or adult that uses them is in excellent care. And so yeah, all of that costs something. And the lessons, the subsidiary part of the lessons, trying to kind of make up for that. So you've always wanted to have some sort of nonprofit that you could start or be part of that would help you get all the things you need now and in the future for the adaptive program at Wachusett. And you just happen to have one sort of fall in your lap, and it's a really beautiful story as to how it came about and why. Can you tell me about that?
Oh, sure. It's something they say it's been a dream of mine for many years now, trying to do something because it is very expensive. It's very costly to do what we do, and obviously it's something that we would like to figure out ways. And we've been in partnership with other programs that have something similar, and I thought that I would try to do that. So one of my athletes I skied with for many years, she was a former race coach and racer at a high level in the state. She developed ALS and was unable to continue skiing at her level. And eventually we got her into our program and get able to get back on the snow, which she took a couple of years to make that decision and able to now get out and do it. She regretted the time that she lost. She could have been out doing more because it brought her back to that joy. It's a humbling thing to be a very advanced skier, then to have to come to the realization you can't do it the way you did before. And that's
Mhm.
hard. It's something for them to accept. And she did, and she eventually came out and regretted she hadn't done it years earlier. On the chairlift, talking about ways we can do this in my pipe dream of having this, she said, well, let's do it. So we started the process of looking into it to develop and set up the charter for a foundation is not an easy process.
Right.
Finally, they made it happen. So we started this program, a foundation called Bad Alleys Adaptive Snow Sports, with an acronym of BADASS. It's
I love
great.
that.
And so we've now established it. So several other races that our adaptive team have been a part of, people have come in to donate to other functions and have asked, how can I do that? We didn't have a mechanism before then, and now we do. So there's a mechanism that if people would like to donate to our foundation, to Bad Ellie's Adaptive Snow Sports, we can do that. And I can share you a link. Can let people come see our Facebook page and look into it.
You're an official 501c3 now.
Correct. It's an official, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's an official 501c3. We've had a lot of local support, just people that once we set it up, local racers, local people from the department and from the town, from the mountain have volunteered. And then we've had a grant given to us already, and a large grant from the Memorial Federation for the Blind, it was great. We had spoken with them just to see if they could assist with, a couple of items we needed to help with the lessons for visually impaired. And they ended up just, how about a $5,000 grant? So we said,
Wow.
okay, we'll take that. Sure. So we had that, and that's great. And it's already gone. So we're established that to help with subsidizing lessons and helping pay for lessons for visually impaired students. The lessons, including the lift pass as well as the rental equipment, is all covered. So we're able to have that right now covered. So all of our lessons so far that have been visually impaired this year have been 100% paid for through that foundation
Oh,
or through that grant. So it's a step. It's what I dreams coming to fruition.
that is such a big deal. As a mom of a special needs kiddo, what's so frustrating sometimes is that it's so much more expensive on a lot of levels to do something with an adaptive program, regardless of what it is and where it is, than for a regular program, which you do understand because you have to have specialized equipment and people that really know what they're doing. But the fact that you are finding ways and really making it happen so that it's actually so affordable and even less than what kiddos that don't have challenges are paying. That is such a beautiful thing that you are doing. I'm just so excited for not just my family, but for anybody else that needs this program because it's just making such a difference. And to make it something that's affordable for everybody is huge.
Our frame of mind is we try to meet you where you are. So in any form or any disability, our goal is to try to meet you where you are to help you get to the mountain and get out and enjoy the winter sports. I don't know if I think I may have talked to you about our first event for this foundation, and it's a charitable race held here at the mountain, and people can sign up for $50. And like most of the races, you have an entrance fee, and that fee is going to go to fund our program. So
Oh,
we're able to have good race, and we'll hopefully have a lot of applicants. So there's a way you can actually go onto the Wachusett website, and there's an events calendar, and in there you can see it, register there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I would love everyone to show up. And even if you're not a good skier, you don't have to be a racer, just come down and have fun with us.
That is so exciting. So, what is your ultimate goal for this program?
The goal for us is to be able to provide the best service and the best product we can, and that comes not only from the commitment of our amazing instructors to be able to give their time, so continuing to get enough staff to be able to come in, instructors come in and do this, because as we increase the volume of our students, we need to equal that with our instructors. So training in our instructors, part of this fund will help us to train our instructors. There are different PSI, Professional Skiers of America, certifications that we get in order to train and do this. So that's our goal, is to build up to a great program that we can provide this service.
What's the best part about this program for you?
Well, it's so rewarding. I think, I mean, when you have someone coming out and bringing anybody to the mountain, it's a magical thing. Being out on a snow-filled mountain and sliding and skiing, whether you're adaptive or not, the extra special love and affection and attention and appreciation we get from our students and family alike, that's the rewarding part. Any instructor who usually joins our program, even if it's only for a short period of time, they usually end up falling in love and staying with the program, because the love and appreciation we get from our students and their families, bringing them something that they most of the time think that they would never have been able to accomplish. It's impossible. And to think that they are doing it, that's the greatest thing.
Well, we adore you and we are so appreciative of you and the program and everything you do. Aren't you also in charge of Special Olympics at Wachusett?
Yes, we have a program here. It's volunteers made up of several coaches. Most of them, or a lot of them, are actually some of my adaptive or other instructors from the mountain who volunteer their time one night a week throughout the season to prepare the Special Olympics race team. Our mountain has their own team that, again, that Wachusett helps to host, is the Great Mountain Bears. Wachusett, the word means the Great Mountain. And so, and obviously the Bears, with the owners of the mountain, the Crowley family also runs Polar Beverages. So that's where the Great Mountain Bears name came from. And so we have a group that's out here training every Thursday night. And coming up the last Friday in February, we have the Massachusetts State Games. These kids get to go out and just experience this fun competition for themselves. It's a great event, and the reward at the end of the games and the recognition for all the effort they put into it. And we have a nice ceremony, and the state police partners with us. So state police are actually throwing the medals over the necks of the cheering athletes. And it's just, that's another exciting thing.
I didn't know that. That's really special. That is so kind. I love that. That is so sweet how many people get involved in it. Oh, it's wonderful and so rewarding for the athletes.
It gives them that thing that they look forward to really all year long. It's hard to describe the joy that you see.
Oh, I'll tell you, one of my favorite people right here. You're a wonderful person. Thank you so much for everything you do, not just for our family, but for everyone at Wachusett. We are really blessed to have you in our life. So thank you. And thank you for explaining what the adaptive program is all about. And I think that there are a lot of people that didn't even know it existed. So hopefully somebody that's listening or watching can take advantage of this program as well, because it really is life changing.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you again, Bruce. I absolutely loved having you on, and I'm so appreciative of you and your time. And I wanted to give a big shout out to the Crowley family. So, as mentioned, they are the ones who run Wachusett Mountain, and they have offered this adaptive program for so long, decades, and really footed the bill, much of it themselves. And so it goes to show you what great humans they are when somebody that works for them, Bruce, is just so determined to find a way to raise money for the program, to just make it as great as possible. And it wouldn't exist without the Crowleys wanting to make it So it's a really all inclusive mountain, which it so is. And we are forever grateful for it. And just worth mentioning, we have gone on family vacations to different ski resorts in other states. And I promise you, there are plenty out there that gouge you if you have an adaptive skier. Yes, it's wonderful that they have programs for people like Gabe, but when you are paying more for your child to ski that day than you are for the place that you're staying, which is a ski in, ski out condo on the mountain, that's a little excessive. So I hope that other mountains find a way to do what the Crowleys have done for so many years and make it as affordable as possible for anyone who wants to come down the mountain, because it really is such a special thing. And we make wonderful memories every single year and are forever grateful to Wachusett, to the Crowleys, to Bruce, and the instructors that make it happen. So if you have somebody in your life that could use the adaptive program, maybe even it's you, I hope you reach out and find out more about it, because I think it will change your life too. Thank you again so much for joining me on Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency. Have a wonderful week. See you next Wednesday. Bye.